Well, the geopolitical factors, as you have mentioned, have been very unfortunate for progress on the climate front. But on almost every other front dealing with sustainable development, we are shifting from sort of a unipolar world system where one country or group of countries were dominant to a much more multipolar distribution of power and wealth in the world. And when you have these shifts, there are always rivalries, and particularly the original dominant power does not always want to yield to this multipolar world. And these tensions are driving confrontation, not just in the Ukraine, as you mentioned, but also in Asia. For example, with China and the Taiwan issue. And this has a very specific, I will mention as very specific negative impact, that John Kerry some years ago worked out some collaborative agreement between US and China, the two biggest emitters on the planet, to make progress towards net zero 2050, which we talked about in this conference. But all that has got thrown away because of recent confrontations. I think the answer to your question is basically that the geopolitical movements today are working against integrated solutions for climate change. But as a scientist, I can tell you these integrated solutions do exist, and I hope that we will come back to them sooner or later. I think China is very serious about meeting its goals, and if it says it will meet its goals, I think more than many other countries in the world, we can have confidence that they will achieve those goals. But I can't tell you exactly because I haven't measured in the last year or two since COVID what you have achieved. But I have confidence that you will do it. China is a favorite country because its poverty reduction efforts have been spectacular. To raise almost 1 billion people out of poverty in the last 3 decades is an amazing feat. While at the same time, this is a social goal, at the same time, achieving their economic goals of very high economic growth rates again for several decades, and now starting to focus on some of the environmental issues. So if you look at the poverty, the social goals and distributional goals, the economic goals of growth, and now the environmental goals, this is a sustainable development triangle. I think China is showing us the way forward to a more sustainable world.